So Lori, her brother Alex, JJ, and Tylee, they up and moved to Idaho. And on September 8th of 2019, they all go and visit Yellowstone National Park. So while at this park, these pictures are taken. The reason why this is so important is because after this day, nobody ever sees 16-year-old Tylee Ryan again. Days later, on September 17th, there is a ring cam footage that shows JJ Vallow playing in the front yard. But still, there is no Tylee. On September 22nd, friends come over to the home of Lori Vallow, and they say that they saw JJ sleeping and they saw Alex Cox take him to his room. But after that day, JJ would never return to school, and nobody would see JJ as well. Now, you guys, while that's going on at Lori's home, let's take a shift over to Chad's home. In October of 2019, Tammy Daybell is in her driveway. She's about to go inside of the house when several men with masks on, they approach her and they have a weapon. Now, Tammy is saying that they pulled the trigger on this weapon, but nothing happened. After that, these men just ran off, making Tammy believe that this was a prank. So she did report this encounter to police, and police agreed they felt like this was just a prank and maybe this were fake weapons or paint guns. But days later, you guys, Tammy would be found dead inside of her home. But what's strange is a medical examiner would say that Tammy died from natural causes. So in the days leading to Tammy's death, Chad is saying that she was sick, she was having seizures, and she had this really bad cough. So now if y'all are keeping count, we have Tammy Daybell is unalived, JJ and Tylee are missing, Charles Vallow is also unalive, and Lori's previous husband, which is Tylee's dad, is also unalive as well. So remember, Lori has this older son by the name of Kobe. And Kobe, he's been calling his teenage sister Tylee, but he's not getting an answer. Later on, he is shocked when he finds out that his mother and Chad Daybell are in Hawaii. And y'all, they are married. Also in November, JJ's family starts to get worried as well. Because y'all remember, JJ is Charles Vallow's nephew. So the grandmother of JJ starts to reach out to Lori, asking her, where is JJ? And Lori is not giving her a complete answer, so they go to the police. So once JJ's grandparents go to the police, they go to Lori's home. And they tell Lori, look, we're doing a welfare check on the kids because not only has nobody seen JJ, we've now getting reports that nobody's seen Tylee as well. So y'all, Lori tells police that Tylee and JJ, they're with family. And where she messes up at is they tell police that JJ is actually with his grandmother. But what Lori doesn't know is JJ's grandmother is the person that sent police to her home. So police, they go obtain a search warrant and they come back that next day in order to search their home. But y'all, when they come back to the home to search it, the home is completely abandoned. We later find out that Lori and Chad went back to Hawaii, and while the world is looking for their kids, they're just over there living it up like nothing is going on. So the police, they basically get in contact with Lori and they tell her, look, you have so many amount of days to produce these kids or you're going to jail. Now, time and time goes by and Lori does not tell them where the kids are. The kids, they don't appear. So they end up arresting her in Hawaii. But Lori still tells them nothing. And that's when this case hits national news.
Their mother married Idaho doomsday author Chad Daybell and fled to Hawaii, where police eventually arrested her for deserting her kids.
Now, y'all, for months and months, Lori tells them nothing. She's laughing when she's in court. She literally cares nothing about these kids, and she cares nothing about this situation. So on June 9th of 2020, police end up doing a raid at the home of Chad Daybell. So y'all, they dug up this entire property. They searched it up and down. And sadly, they end up finding the remains of JJ and of Tylee. So although Lori is already in jail, they arrest Chad Daybell and they charge Lori and Chad Daybell with 3 counts of unaliving. So they charged them with the deaths of JJ and Tylee. And y'all, they even charged them with the death of Tammy Daybell. So even though at first they said that she died of natural causes, after everything unfolded, they determined that something else had to have happened to Tammy. So Lori and Chad were both convicted of all of these unalivings, and they were sentenced to life in prison. In the midst of all of this going on, Alex Cox dies. And even though Alex Cox was the person that unalived Charles Vallow, investigators go back and they charge Lori with Charles Vallow's death, And now, as we speak, Lori is on trial for the murder of her husband, Charles. Now, y'all, while she's on trial, she's representing herself. And Lori has made a complete mockery of this whole situation.
He loved JJ and how excited he was to see him the next morning. And just.
Thank you. That's enough. And then you had no contact with Charles after that, correct?
Well, he was dead, so clearly I didn't have contact with him.
Okay.
So, y'all, I'm completely confused on why they even have a trial for Charles's murder. Lori has already been found guilty of those 3 other unalivings, in which, in my heart, I think Lori unalived her brother as well, and I think she had something to do with Joseph's unaliving. Seeing as that they made Tammy's unaliving look like it was natural causes, the fact that Alex, which is her brother, died from high blood pressure and blood clots, I strongly believe that they did something to him as well. Now, this case, it pisses me off because Lori and Chad could have just got a divorce and they could have just moved on with their lives. You literally unalived everybody in your life for what? These kids were innocent. Tammy was innocent. She had no idea what was going on. Not only did y'all try to unalive her once by sending those men to her house, she had no idea that her husband was messing around with Lori. Now, I strongly believe that Alex Cox, which is her brother, he is responsible for a lot of these unalivings. I think that Lori and Chad used Alex in order to carry out these unalivings because at the end of the day, they planned on unaliving him. Now, y'all, I feel like they thought that if they made Alex do the unalivings, then they wouldn't be held responsible for what actually took place. Now, my heart breaks for Kobe because his mother literally took out everybody in his life. Now, like I said before, Lori is still on trial as we speak for the murder of Charles. And I will keep you guys updated as that unfolds. But what are your thoughts in this whole situation? Comment below.